Hello, Cowichan. It's Alec Wheeler, Events and Membership Manager with the Duncan Cowichan Chamber of Commerce, and we're here with another session of Biz Banter. Today I have with me Caterina Alberti with Crossover Coaching. Caterina, welcome.
Hello, Alex. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for making the time. So Crossover Coaching, you do business and personal coaching, is that correct?
I do, because they do cross over, just like my name.
There you go. And
Yeah.
right there we have the foundation of your brand and how you came up with that. So personal and business coaching, and you've been doing that for 11 years now. And who would have thought in your 11th year you'd be faced with a global pandemic? So talk to me a little bit about, in the first 4 weeks, how that impacted you both personally and professionally.
Okay, well, personally, it was a bit of a struggle. I'll start with that because I think, we have to, or at least I did, I have to sort of reassess personally how I can manage with this stay-at-home concept. And because with what I do, I love to get out and about, and it's the best way to build relationships is to meet people in person. Right. So it made me think about, okay, so how can I just control the things I can control, right, within my own world and personal life, and let go of the things I cannot control. And so I think that was the first sort of phase that I worked on personally. And so it was about just letting go of things and going a bit with the flow and really getting kind of active in my home so that I didn't, I didn't stagnate, right? I wanted to make sure that I was doing things active, being active in my home and within my, space outdoors. I have a backyard and I have a little garden space. So some of the first things I did personally was started to think about how can I do things that are going to help me personally manage this. So I love gardening. I love writing. I love reaching out and connecting with people and chatting with people so that I keep my I keep my mind active, and I love cooking. So I kind of you kind of reassess what are my loves in my personal life. What do I love to do? So I did begin all those things, and so that was really good, and I think that was important for me to start with that. And then on my business side of things, I took those same sort of ideas, I guess, and I thought, where can I plant some seeds? Where can I reach out? How can I help? Those are my first thoughts. Who can I reach out to? And it brought me back to the people that I'd been in touch with just before the pandemic hit. And I thought, I really want to touch base with those people first and let them know I'm here. And even though it looks like we're not going to be able to move forward, that there's a possibility that we can still keep in touch in some way, and just how can we do that?
And even move it, maybe not forward, but laterally, because I think sometimes we think, seeking out business coaching in particular is going to be based on sort of a one-time deal or around a certain set of circumstances. Maybe you're opening another location or you're going through a transition, and we think it's sort of a time frame that we do coaching, but really coaching is an ongoing thing. And what better time to reach out to a coach than during a time of crisis?
Yeah, exactly. And if for nothing else, for conversation. Because conversation can really stimulate ideas, and like you say, to expand your thinking. So moving a bit laterally, or and it's just that that you're in it you're in this together with others. So when you can talk about it, it does help you to let go of the things, like I say, things you can't control. But Yeah,
And
so
if I understand correctly too,
yeah,
Caterina, sorry to interrupt, but
no,
there is a little bit of a difference too between being a business advisor and a business coach. Now, as an advisor, you're sort of prescriptive. You come up with directions and pathways for people to do. But as a coach, you're asking those open-ended questions. You're having that conversation, like you mentioned,
mm-hmm.
and basically, you know, allowing yourself to be a platform for people to get there on their own and find the solutions on their own. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. You know, you're trained as a coach to ask the best questions that can help people sort of pull out those ideas within themselves. And as we talk about my little radio show, Alec, I'll talk to you a little bit about, you know, what that means a little further and why, you know, that came about and how it's related to what we're talking about right now. Yeah, so it is about pulling out what people have already within themselves. You know, all the resources, all the knowledge, all the experiences, and helping them bring it up and then just coming up with just things that are out of the blue that you never thought of, right? So like the aha moments. Yeah, so coaching is really great. And it's also what's really great about coaching, and it's a little bit different maybe from an advisor, because and sometimes I get pulled in and asked if I can consult or give advice about something. And that does happen. So I say, look, you know, that I'm put on that hat that is not the coaching style, but you know, sometimes you just need, you know, there's a block, and you know, there's and that's sort of where the mentorship comes in. So you've been through it, you've experienced something, you can share your experiences and the skills that you've learned a little bit, right? And that may help just break a breakthrough for someone. Yeah, so.
You talk about breakthroughs. You mentioned those
Mhm,
aha moments,
mhm.
which is a really great segue for your aha radio. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, well, I started the little radio show within a few weeks, but you know, just after the stay-at-home closures happened, and it came from an aha moment I'd had actually several years ago. And I was at a women's business event, and um, the aha thought came to me of, okay, you can start right now with everything that you have right from where you are. And I thought, oh, that's a really great, you know, and it was really applicable to the event. And I was doing a little speaking at the event. So it was really applicable for that moment. And I thought, oh, well, aha moments are wonderful because they kind of encourage you, right, to take that step or to try something slightly different so that it'll work. And so I thought, you know, it's a good time to provide some encouragement and see if it can help others to stimulate those aha moments within themselves. And plus, I love to, you know, share some of my experiences and some tips and things like that. So I thought it was a great way to start something new
So
during this time at home.
where do we tune into aha radio?
Well, it's on my. I do the small videos on my phone, and then I upload them to LinkedIn usually. So
Okay.
you could go to my LinkedIn, Crossover Coaching on LinkedIn, and find me there, and connect with me there, and look at my little radio shows. Yeah. So
Perfect.
it's been a fun adventure and a new experience for me to share my voice in that way. It's different. So
Brilliant.
it's good. It's good. It feels good to do that.
Now, as we're moving into, we're now in phase 2 of BC's restart plan, and we're starting to see businesses kind of scrambling with these new health and safety parameters and adapting on the fly yet again
Mhm.
as they start to open their doors. So if you could give one little nugget of encouragement or perspective, one sharp little nugget, what would that be?
Well, well, I think that I actually did step out this week and went into a couple of my local shops that I love to say hello and to purchase a few things I've been wanting. And I could see that there is, although they're happy to be open, and but there is stress that is
Mhm.
there is stress on top of having to be this extra careful, this extra watchful. And so I guess, I guess my thoughts would be to to look after that side of yourself, look after that side of the stress, that's happening around you with regards to having to deal with all these extra guidelines and what have you. I think that for me, what I noticed yesterday was kind of key, I think, and I noticed that there was a lot of stress, and so to look after themselves that way on the personal side. On the
Yeah,
business,
because there's a lot of talk about being kind to each other, but we've got to be kind to ourselves as well, because there are so many ways that, even if we're not conscious of it,
yeah.
that this new kind of normal is impacting us. It's requiring that extra thought. It's even if it's not front of conscious mind, it's on the back of our mind all the time. So you're right, being kind to ourselves and taking that time for self-care is a great message.
Yeah, it's really important. And also, I think on the other side, on the business side of things, to reduce the the things that you feel that are that don't feel like you're in control. So to reduce those, and I was thinking about things I had to do even today, just watching out about costs. So reducing costs, like there's all these extra costs in preparing for these guidelines. So to look at your fees and subscriptions and all these different bills that you may have coming in, still have coming in, and reaching out to those people, those subscriptions and those fees that you have, and working together with them to help reduce whatever little bits you can, everywhere you can. And I think that kind of stress is very challenging on top of all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So if you can make those little, even one or two of those things, and people are so happy to work with you right now. And I had a very good experience this morning working with a subscription that I had, and they were so awesome to me for the next 3 months. And they reduced my subscription fee. And so I didn't really expect that. I just I noticed something different on my bills. So, and that's what came out of it. So, and it was such a great feeling to know that, okay, for 3 months, I've got a bit of a breather, even though it's little, every little bit counts. So that's the other bit on the business side, which I know is always, it's a big stress too. So
yeah. Great
do what
tips,
you can.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Caterina, if people want to take advantage of your coaching services, how do they get in touch with you? How do they find out about your services?
Okay, they can connect with my website, which is www.crossovercoaching.ca, or they can call, and I'm a local here on Vancouver Island, so the number is 250-812-9370. Yeah.
Perfect.
And I have an email address, which is also crossovercoaching@gmail.com.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
That's great. Well, listen, everybody's busy these days, so I'm not going to keep you today, but thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Thank you, Alec.
It was a pleasure to see you, if only virtually.
Yeah. Hope we see you in person soon.
Absolutely. Cowichan, that's been another session of Biz Banter with the Duncan Cowichan Chamber of Commerce and Crossover Coaching. We'll see you next time.